You can do it, baby. I love you so much. And it's bad news. Bad things are happening. Mom, I'm sorry. Mom, I didn't do it.
Goodbye, Mom.
No, what am I saying?
What, this? It's nothing. Really, it's nothing, Ed. It's just, it's just Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve.
We're about ready to get this bitch started.
We are. It's really going to happen.
Yeah, it's time. We need to do it to save the world.
I don't know if we're ready. I don't think I can do it.
I'm about to get real angry. We need to start the show.
I put all my faith in your offering.
Give me a countdown, please.
You heard him, Samuel. Do it now.
A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
We found the groove. Have a good time. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened.
Okay, you little bastards. The time has come. The moment we've all been waiting for. It's the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve Alabruski. Let's go.
Let's go, ladies and gents. Welcome to the podcast. I tell you what, it gets a little exhausting trying to save the world each and every day. It's to your benefit, though. You've tuned in for it. Thanks for joining the Vocal Minority.
Yeah, we are here to save the world, which is why we're all dressed like Clark Kent today.
That's funny. Let me
fucking lens crafter with all our black rim glasses.
That's just called the AARP ad, dude. I mean, that's what that's called. An oldie but goodie.
Yeah. Find us on the website, thevocalminority.net. We declined the option to get the vocalminority.kids that was offered to us.
Yeah, and I haven't turned back on the decision. I still feel like we made the right choice, right?
Right. Any website that ends in .kids, I would just stay the hell away from. You're on an FBI watch list right off the bat there. So
yeah, that's probably truth. Welcome to the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve Alabruski. How you holding up today, Big Brewski?
Doing all right, thanks. How you guys doing?
I'm going to give today, I'm at an 8 today.
Oh, nice. Very good.
That's pretty good, right? I don't have a lot of 8s, so yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Your crystal blue eyes are shining through today, too.
Yes, they sure are.
Those of you not watching this on YouTube or the socials, the black rim glasses are in full effect, and Nick's crystal blues are shining.
Wow. I've been getting
seriously, look. Do you see it?
I know, yeah. I'm getting a little horny looking at them myself, dude.
Right. I don't know if it's the blue shirt you're wearing that brings it out, but
yeah, maybe so.
Well, you look doable. That's all I'm saying. So.
I may be looking blue, but I'm not feeling blue. And I hope you are all in the same place. The podcast is ready to begin.
Need to know news. News you need to know.
Yeah. Let's. I know we've got some politics to get to today, but let's balance this out a tad. I want to talk football for a moment here.
Sure.
First of all, NFL action. So, do we have predictions on NFC, AFC championships coming up this week? I'm pulling for the Chiefs to win just because I want Taylor Swift to show up at the Super Bowl so I can watch the world freak out over how much attention she'll get. If you know she will.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw the meme, but the game last... 2 weeks ago, the game. She's at the game, and it's when the whole country was experiencing sub-zero temps, and there's a picture of her, like, looking out of the window at the booth.
Yeah, it's all frosted up the glass.
It's just, like, frozen. I mean, she looks like Neanderthal in there. It's real funny.
So what do we got? The Ravens and the Chiefs and the Lions and the 49ers playing.
Yeah. Oh, I can tell you right now, what I would like is I want the Lions in the Super Bowl because I want the Lions to win the whole damn thing.
You do? Only
do.
Because you feel so bad for them? Or
No. First of all, the Ravens are public enemy number 1B to Patriots fans. 1A would be the Jets. I'm just sick of the Taylor Swift thing, but then I'm sick of Jason Kelce, not Travis Kelce, who plays for the Chiefs, but his brother, who's now retired from the Philadelphia Eagles.
Right.
And
I
his
don't
brother
appreciate that we have to compete with their podcast. That's what I don't appreciate.
yeah, well, whatever.
What
And
is
it's something that-
is he out talking shit? The retired boy? I don't even know who he
No,
is.
he was at the he's the center for he played center for the Eagles, and he was at the game yesterday with his shirt off behind Britney and
Yes.
Britney Mahomes and Taylor Swift, no shirt on, chugging a beer, and
He looked
cheering
like
them.
the Machine. Who's Tom Segura's partner?
Yeah,
Bert
that would be
Kreischer.
Bert Kreischer.
Yes, he looked like Bert with his big. I mean, he's a little more muscular than Bert, I guess, but he looked very similar to him.
Yeah,
up at the stand
exactly.
with the shirt off.
Yeah, Bert does it for, to be ironic, but this guy, I mean, anyone who's chugging a beer with their shirt off is just equals douchebag.
I was telling my son that when we were at Supercross last time. I said, anytime you see a guy at a sporting event with his shirt off, stay away. That's the crazy one. Don't
Yeah, there's going to be a fight will break out soon somewhere.
Right.
So anyway, I'm hoping for the Lions to win.
Do you realize Nick and I were in high school the last time the Lions won a playoffs game?
Yes,
Fun
I do.
fact.
1991.
Yeah, you and I were in high school the last time the Lions won a playoff game.
We
And
were
they
freshmen
didn't-
in high school, dude.
Yeah, they didn't get into the Super Bowl by any means, but they just won a playoff game. So
Yeah.
here we are,
Right.
30 years later.
The last time they won an actual NFL championship, this is pre-Super Bowl era, that would have been 1957.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yes.
So, Lions going against 49ers, and obviously my son has become a huge 49ers fan. So
It's been since the helmets had face guards on them. You know what I mean? Like, that's a long time ago.
Yeah. So I told my son, I don't know, the Lions are really good at losing, so I don't know if you should be sweating them against the Niners. But I would say that momentum is kind of on the Lions side. Like, they're all fired up to do this. So
Yeah. I'm always voting mainly for an underdog, so I'll take the Lions.
So Lions and who? Who's the underdog on the other side? The Chiefs, technically?
Probably.
Listen, I would like to see the Chiefs in it just because of what I said. I want to see the spectacle of everyone freaking out about Taylor Swift, but I kind of think the Ravens are going to win that game. And then, it's tough. The Niners and the Lions, like I said, there's a little hometown, momentum that I want to see the Lions get there. But I think the Niners are, technically they're the better team ranking-wise, but I think they're the better team. But I don't know. That's going to be a good one. My son said that if anyone's going to beat the Niners, he wants it to be the Lions. So.
Well, I will say this. Kyle Shanahan, the head coach of the Niners.
Yes, and my son's new best friend.
I was going to say who your son met.
Right.
My
My son got a picture with Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude. And the way it happened, tell us how it happened, because that's a
how
crazy
did it
story
happen?
too, dude.
Yeah, I assume they were at some fan fest or something, but it's not at all. They were in the stadium, and my firstborn, Crosby's older sibling, Neo, saw Shanahan going from some VIP suite, heading towards the, backstage or locker rooms or whatever. And Neo went and yelled at him, hey, Shanahan, come over, you got to take a picture with my brother. Like Neo tracked him down and made him and apparently he was super nice. And
That's bold though. That's a bold choice, and it's cool that he was so nice.
And I'm surprised he didn't get mobbed by everyone else. But he apparently talked to Cross for a little bit, and they took pictures. Really nice guy as they're about to go play a game.
Yeah,
I don't know. I haven't seen Neo since you guys lived in north of Seattle. So it's been a long time, obviously, right?
When they were one, yeah, it's been
Exactly. So here's the question: Is this out of character, or is this something that you would expect Neo to do, be that bold and make that sort of?
It's funny because Neo's a huge theater fan, and after any theater production, they have a line afterwards when all the actors come out of the dressing room and you can line up and try to shake hands or get an autograph. Neo always shies away from that. She does not want to be, verbose and get in these actors' faces. But at the football game, she apparently was all for it, and they just went running right over the coach. And
That's good. That's good.
Oh yeah. So I've got a sports story here that has started this train of thought here that I don't know. I want to call bullshit on this story because I just don't buy it. But let me get your guys' 2 cents on it. All right.
all right.
Okay. Matthew Stafford was the quarterback for the Lions for multiple seasons, right? 10 or 12 seasons or something?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. And then he got traded to the Chargers, correct?
The Rams.
The Rams, LA Rams, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So the Lions just played the Rams 2 games ago to get in. It was either the first round of the playoffs or was it the end of the season? You tell me.
No, it was the first round of the playoffs. They played that was their first draw was against the Rams. Yes.
Okay. So Matthew Stafford used to play for the Lions. Now he plays for the Rams. So they had this big playoff game together, and it was in Detroit.
Yes.
And when Stafford came out on the field, he got booed, which I don't know. I don't think it's totally shocking.
No.
A lot of people in Detroit think that, we helped raise you up and then you left us. And
Sure.
and he won a Super Bowl, right? When he went to the Rams?
He did, yes.
Right. So they're all a little bitter and pissed off at Stafford. So they were booing at him, which, that's fine. But here's the article that I read that I just called baloney on this. Matthew Stafford's wife says that the Lions fans booed her and their kids and made them leave the game in tears. The wife of NFL player Matthew Stafford says that she and her 4 children, 3, 5, and 6 years old, twins, so both are 6, were booed from the sidelines before the Lions and Rams game a week or 2 back. She says Hunter started crying on the field. And she said, listen, everybody, this is the fans at their loudest, but I will say one thing. We're not playing the game. My girls and I are not playing the game. I know my girls are not getting booed. I am. I can handle it. But when I have my kids next to me, there's something to be said like, maybe not. And then she told her kids, they're booing mommy. They're not booing you guys. I call bullshit that she was sitting on the sidelines and that almost anyone in that stadium knew who she was, let alone was somehow singling her out and booing at them. That just seems implausible to me.
She would have only been on the sideline pregame, not during the game itself.
Right.
So during the pregame, obviously there aren't as many people in the stadium. So you can hear people saying things a little bit that might be directed to you a little easier than during the game. During the game itself, she would be in a suite. She wouldn't be in regular seats or anything like that there.
I just think it's a big assumption that these fans knew who she was and decided to take it out on her. Like
maybe they yelled her name.
I don't think she's that famous.
You know who your quarterback's wife or girlfriend is. You absolutely know.
Yeah, I'm telling you, though, if I saw any NFL player, if I saw any Supercross rider, I wouldn't have any clue who their wife is, let alone be such an a-hole that I would be booing at them.
First, I agree with Brewski in the fact that, Rachel knows that kind of stuff. She's at sports games, there's a variety of people who do know who she is, and I don't doubt for a second the people of Detroit booed her. And if we're going off your logic harness, she's open up. She's a public figure, dude. It doesn't matter that you're the wife of, she's a public figure. She's got to take the abuse, right?
Well, yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm just saying it's presumptuous. I just don't buy that they knew who she was and decided to boo her so intently that her and the children were crying on the sideline because these fans are coming after us. I think they were booing him out on the field doing warm-ups or whatever, and she just, because she wants to be the center of attention, took the boos onto her and then decided to tell her kids, like, they're booing at mommy. They're not booing at you. I don't think they're booing at anyone except the guy on the field, Nate Stafford.
I think they'll boo at her, dude.
Well, so here's the thing. I've been to a lot of games, and I will tell you, you can hear some of the most awful things that you can actually hear directed at athletes. Absolutely.
Yeah, athletes, yes. And I've seen athletes get pissed off and go in the stands.
No. But here's the other thing. Here's the other part I was going to tell you. Everyone knows who Tom Brady's ex-wife is.
Yeah, because she's famous in her own right.
But
I don't think Stafford's wife is anywhere near famous enough that.
But if you're a Lions fan, though, like I said, you know who she's married to.
So, Nick, you feel if I gave you a lineup of your quarterbacks, if I showed you 10 women, you would be able to pick out who the Seahawks quarterback's wife is?
I'd be able to pick out a few of them, but I guarantee you that Rachel would be able to tip most all of them off.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, apparently Detroit Lions fans are big a-holes because I guess they knew who she was and decided to boo her.
Detroit, dude. They're loud. You're loudmouth in Detroit, dude. I mean, you guys are loud, obnoxious people.
You think so, though? I mean, Midwesterners, aren't they supposed to be nice, mellow people?
Well, I mean, let's think about Green Bay, dude. I mean, they're nice, logical people until they get drunk and their sports team is losing, then that all goes out the window.
Listen, here's my point. Is a hot blonde trophy wife ever want to make herself the center of attention, make herself the story? Because I think that's what's going on here. That's just my 2 cents. So.
All right. Well, you gave 2, Brewski gave 3, and I gave 1. So what does that mean?
All right, Nick, you're brilliant. I'm wrong. All right, someone mark it down. I was wrong.
This is Need to Know News. News you need to know.
Where's Nick?
I'm coming, dude. Relax a little bit here.
I'm for you, I tell you.
He does. He's always looking for me, dude.
That always makes me laugh when you play that.
It's crazy, dude.
Get over here, Nick.
I'm here, dude. Relax a little bit. All right. I'm going to start talking about you. And that always seems to calm him down like a baby and warm milk, you know?
You've seen your sparkling blue eyes today, so he wants.
Yes.
What will you guys be doing tonight after he stares into your eyes?
Oh, I don't know. What do you think, Donnie?
Probably making love.
Oh, maybe so, dude. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Okay.
Listen to this, dude. You guys know I'm a big fan of Paul Harvey, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
My father was a huge fan of Paul Harvey, and like when I was looking to get into radio as a little kid, like he's one of the guys that I was like, oh shit, I want to do that. And I saw the way that my dad responded to him, and he like intently listened. So I was like, yeah, that's what I want, dude. I like that right there.
I see. You know what my therapist would say? Nick is seeking his father's love by going into radio because he wanted to be the Paul Harvey in his dad's eyes.
100%. And she'd be correct, dude. I mean, as I think back on it, like, of course I had other things like I wanted to make people laugh, you know, stuff like that. But I wanted that. I'm
sorry. I'm just analyzing everything nowadays. I'm in so much.
Well, you're paying good money for it, dude. So thanks. I appreciate it, dude. Little pro bono. Listen to this. Paul Harvey was famous for a audio piece that he put together, obviously decades ago. Paul Harvey's no longer with us. Listen, have you ever heard of God Made a Farmer? Have you ever heard about it?
Yes.
Oh, I have not, no.
All right, it's a great piece of work, and like I said, I don't know, he did it years ago, but
yeah.
I'll play
one of his little vignette story things.
Not really. This is more of it's almost like a spoken word, like a poem, but it was inspirational to a lot of people, and it's 2 minutes and 15 seconds long, so I'm not going to play the whole thing because you'll get the gist of it as I play a little bit of it.
Okay.
God Made a Farmer.
God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody willing to get up before dawn, milk cows, work all day in the fields, milk cows again, eat supper, then go to town and stay past midnight at a meeting of the school board. So God made a farmer. I need somebody with arms strong enough to wrestle a calf and yet gentle enough to deliver his own grandchild. Somebody to call hogs, tame cantankerous machinery, come home hungry, have to wait lunch until his wife's done feeding visiting ladies, then tell the ladies to be sure and come back real soon and mean it. So God made a farmer.
As you can probably imagine, like farmers across our country especially were like, thank you, sir. I mean, they really liked it, right?
I would say Paul Harvey has a hard-on for farmers, not to overanalyze him, but boy, that's a lot of love he's throwing their way.
I think he knows how important it is, dude. Without farmers, we don't exist, right? It's like trees.
Right.
We don't breathe, we don't eat.
And without government subsidies, farmers don't exist. So it all goes round and round. So.
Totally. God made a farmer. So Paul Harvey is a famous piece of work, and I do recommend listening to the whole thing at some point in time. It's worthy of it.
Does he blow his load at some point in the 2 minutes? Or?
You mean literally?
Yeah, he sounds like he's jerking off.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
He's giving a lot of love to the farmers.
Of course he is, dude. I mean, this takes do you not agree that a farmer is a special breed of person? I mean,
sure.
So God made a farmer, Steve.
Yes.
But an important piece of work to me, and then I heard a remake of it the other day, and I wasn't
mashup
really into it. So I'm going to give you
the 99 problems, but a farmer ain't one.
Yeah, well, that would be more interesting than what you're about to hear.
Yep.
Let me see here. Hold on. I'm going to play this so I can stop it because I need to tell you it's a commercial. So there's video clips playing throughout it. Obviously, you can't see them. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. But this is the new ad.
And on June 14th, 1946, God looked down on his planned paradise and said,
I need a caretaker, so God gave us Trump. God said, I need somebody willing to get up before dawn, fix this country, work all day, fight the Marxists, eat supper, then go to the Oval Office and stay past midnight at a meeting of the heads of state. So God made Trump. God had to have somebody willing to go into the den of vipers, call out the fake news for their tongues as sharp as a serpent's. The poison of vipers is on their lips, and yet stop. So God made Trump.
Obviously, that's blasphemy, dude, right? I mean, that is crazy.
Oh, is that like a holograph of Paul Harvey doing that? AI representing? I mean, what the?
That's a good impersonation. That's what I have to say.
It really is. And I mean, the audio portion of it, too. I wish we could hear it without music, because whoever produced it, they made it sound like Paul Harvey's, a long time ago. They made it sound like the original, and it was a good impersonation. But my God, please.
Tell me he's getting sued by the estate of Paul Harvey for that. I mean,
I don't think so. I'll tell you, the video clips of it throughout are, a baby picture of Trump, a toddler, and then like him in the Oval Office, and like, him hugging the flag. Like, it's just it's a propaganda video.
Say pure propaganda, and not to mention total baloney that he ever stayed up after midnight for any meeting ever at any point in his life.
No, and I think that if anything, if anything, he's probably asleep by then, and because he only sleeps for a couple of hours.
Right. Yeah.
He only used to work a few hours a day. He had so much TV time and executive time. I mean,
he didn't work at all. I mean, come on. He would go into the Oval Office, and we know that they would actually tell the briefers that you had to keep any briefing to one page and 4 bulleted points. That's it. And even then he's falling asleep.
Yeah. The American people needed someone to eat Big Macs and type in all bold font. So God made Trump.
So many French fries.
If you want to go with my theory that God doesn't exist, then if God made Trump for these things, you have to admit that can't be real.
Yeah.
Well, listen, everyone's got a mistake every so often. I mean, there's always a bad car or two as a lemon that slips out of Detroit every so often. So
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's like God was driving while he was making Trump, and someone stopped really fast in front of him. It just took his attention off the road for a second.
God was binge drinking one night and decided to make Trump.
Someone told God, "You're not funny," and he was like, well, "Look at this," and he made Trump.
Yeah, on all you. Yeah.
We, I think collectively here on the program, we love the Lincoln Project, don't we? I mean, I love the Lincoln Project.
Yeah, bunch of conservatives that are anti-Trump and making really good videos and commercials against him.
Really good advertisements. So God made Trump, and then the Lincoln Project said, oh, no.
And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a man to test the will and goodness of a free people. So God made a dictator. God said, I need a man who failed in everything but theft and broken promises to live in a golden palace and convince the poor he serves their needs. So God made a dictator. God said, I need a wicked man to lead the common folk with hatred and fear. So God made a dictator. God said, I need a corrupt man who is above the law and immune from justice. So God made a dictator. God said, I need a man who will use violence to seize power. So God made a dictator. God said, I need a man whose followers will call black white, call evil good, and call criminals hostages. So God made a dictator. God said, I need his political party to obey without question, and the press fear his wrath. So God made a dictator. God said, I need a cruel man who uses his power and position to punish and harm his opposition. So God made a dictator. God said, I need a man who breaks the faith of even his most godly followers and leads them to idolatry. Place him above me. So God made a dictator.
Bring it home.
And then God said, I sent this man to test you, and until you cast him down, you have failed.
Burn.
So God made a dictator. Yes, he did. And keep in mind, in this commercial, it's all Trump, and mixed in every once in a while with Putin,
Kim Jong-un there.
Kim Jong-un is in there. I mean, anything you can think of as far as dictatorship. I think maybe Hitler's in there. I don't know.
That's great. One of my favorite parts about being a cord cutter that I stream all my shows now, I don't have to see any political ads.
Really?
Yeah, I don't see any ever.
Oh, that's interesting, dude. I wonder why.
because there's no local advertising on streaming services. I mean, not 99% of them anyways. And most of them I pay for ad-free anyways, so.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, most of it's propaganda, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they're preaching to their own choirs there. It would be nice to think the two ads would cancel each other out, but the people that need to see the one will never see it from the Lincoln Project.
You know that Trump just saw that, God made Trump and just had a raging boner and then probably shit his pants, dude. I mean, with excitement. He loved that.
This is Need to Know News. News you need to know. Start the news chant, please.
Come on. News.
All right, here's an interesting news story. We have so much national news to draw our attention, as we talk about in the show all the time. But, it shows like Yellowstone or The Sopranos, they just remind me of all of these small town shenanigans that go on all across this country that we probably never hear about because they're dwarfed in the news cycle. But, yeah, there's little corrupt circles in all areas of this country pulling shit around. And I saw this story this week, and this just blows my mind. An entire town's newspapers were stolen on the day that it ran a story about a rape at the police chief's home.
What?
Yes, this is I may be pronouncing this wrong, but Ouray, Colorado. Hundreds of copies of the local newspaper were stolen from all over town the day the paper published a story about an alleged rape that happened at the chief of police's house. The publisher acknowledged that the apparent theft of all of the papers in the entire town encouraged them to connect dots on their own, is what he's saying to the readers. It's pretty, a quote here from the publisher, "It's pretty clear that someone didn't want the community to read the news this week. I'll leave it up to you to draw your own conclusions on which story they didn't want you to read."
Yeah, it's like, I'll take your silence as an admission of guilt. Wow, dude, that is crazy. How many people live in that town?
I mean, they only published hundreds of copies, so I'm guessing it's, thousands of people in the small town. But the front page story was titled, "Girl, Rapes Occurred at Chief's House." So, in other words, this girl was being interviewed, saying that these rapes were happening at the chief of police's house. The horrific allegations of a 17-year-old girl who says she was repeatedly raped while at a party with the police chief's stepson and two other individuals in May of 2023. The teenager told investigators that the Ouray police chief, Jeff Wood, and his family were asleep upstairs at the time, and that she was screaming and fighting back, and that no one came downstairs to help her.
This is dark shit, dude.
Right. I mean, talk about Yellowstone, Soprano style. Yeah. Like, you're going to publish a story about my family. We're just going to steal every paper, as if that would actually stop it from getting out, because now it's getting more attention than it would have in the first place. But
if it's this small of a town, dude, it would have been easier to go to the newspaper publication and tell them not to print it. I mean, it's probably a guy named Ray printing these off in his basement. It's a small town.
Yeah. There was another story a few months back where a similar thing happened, where there was a damning story about to come out in a local paper, and the police department somehow got a search warrant to go and raid the offices of the newspaper, and they confiscated all of this information and articles. Thinking they would somehow get away with it. So this town just waited for it to be published, and then they stole all the newspapers.
Wow. That is unbelievable, dude. And to cover up such a dark story, yeah. And it also goes to show you that not only are the police corrupt in this, but what else are they corrupt in now for the public to think about that,
Right. So, Jason Aldean, try that in a small town where we're all good American people around here. Like, no, there's corruption and deceit and deception going on every level, from New York City to this small little town in Colorado.
Yeah. No, that's crazy.
Just so you know, I looked it up real quickly. The population of that city, this town, as of 2021 was 923.
Oh, so it'd be 1,000 people.
Wow. Nice work. 923.
That's even dumber to think that in a town that small, you can somehow keep the story from getting out there simply by stealing every newspaper.
Yeah.
But what an old school solution to the problem.
It's so funny, dude. Yeah, just go be there at 4 a.m. Little Timmy gets in his car.
Right. So either the chief of police or one of the deputies, they were just going around town at 4:30 in the morning just stealing newspapers like the Grinch, the night before Christmas or something.
Yeah.
So funny. One of them is going to pop up somewhere this newspaper knows this happened now.
Oh, yeah, and they have copies at the newspaper.
Print it. Yes, I mean, come on.
So that's America for you right there.
That's cray.
Do you have news you need to know? Like need to know news? How about news you need to know? Do you feel like you need to know that? What if we could guarantee only news you need to know? The need to know news. I think we might be on to something you need to know. Perhaps it's news. Let's see if we need to know it.
You do need to know it, dude. That's what we do. Need to know news. Welcome to the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve Olabruski.
Are you getting a commission every time Need to Know News is said on the show?
Oh, dude, I don't know. That was another one of those stoner production sessions, Great story about Trump being in cognitive decline. Yeah. I mean, we all think that he's there, and now people are calling him out on it. He's starting to, talk about it at all his rallies and stuff like that. First sign that he may be in decline. Well, we've heard him call Biden Obama a lot. We heard him talk about World War II could happen. He's not doing well.
Yeah. Airports during the Revolutionary War.
Yeah. All that kind of stuff. So he was on stage. This is so crazy, dude. He was on stage I think he was in New Hampshire.
But we're also going to place strong protections to stop banks and regulators from trying to debank you from your political beliefs, what they do. They want to debank you, and we're going to debank. Think of this. They want to take away your rights. They want to take away your country. The things they're doing, all electric cars, give me a break.
Dude, as soon as he makes an error, I mean, what, are you going to debank me? Can you debank what I'm telling you right now? He meant to say something else, but he goes straight into that ruin your country. They're taking over. Country never the same.
Yeah, I would love to know the thoughts in his head where he realizes, like, you're saying something stupid or this isn't right. So he tries to pivot and distract. But
yes,
just like with his son with the hair curdler thing, like, what was he trying to say? What is he talking about? The banks are trying to take away our political opinions.
Well, you know what? He went into it and he was talking about banking, and then he said debanking, and he couldn't get out of it. He meant to say debunk, and he said debank. He doesn't want anyone to ever know he's made an error. Right. So he tries to catch himself, but he goes in, we're going to debank. Banks are debanking, we're going to debank. I mean, our political beliefs are going, crazy. It doesn't even make sense at all. So he obviously is having a hard time.
Did you think he was trying to say debunk? They're trying to debunk your political beliefs, or?
No, he didn't bring that. He didn't bring the political beliefs. Listen to the beginning of it again. He didn't bring it up until he realized he misspoke, and then boom, veer off into.
But we're also going to place strong protections to stop banks and regulators from trying to debank you from your political beliefs. What they do, they want to debank you, and we're going to debank. Think of this.
You're going to bank, dude?
Was he talking about regulatory fees or something? I mean, where was he even thinking he was going with that? We're trying to stop banks from what?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. But we're going to debunk, or we're going to debank. They're going to debank. I mean, really, if you think about it, we're going to debank. So,
well, I mean, I can guarantee you he's not speaking about things like that Bernie Sanders has spoken about in the past about people in urban areas, lower income people, not really having the means to have bank accounts because of fees and that sort of thing. I can guarantee you Trump was not proposing anything like that at all.
Yeah. No. You remember Key and Peele? They had the bit about the Obama, anger translator.
Yes.
No, I don't remember that.
Well, Obama was always famously so even-tempered. So Key and Peele had this bit where Obama had an anger translator standing next to him. So Obama would say something smooth and easy, and then the anger translator would be like, "Yeah, you motherfuckers, this is what I'm saying." I need a translator for Trump, for his idiocy, for his senility settling in. Like, okay, he's talking about debanking. Like, can you tell me what he's actually trying to say? Because I'm curious to know what in his brain he was trying to make a point on.
And yet the buffoons clap along. Yeah,
debanking.
I have no idea what he's talking about, dude. Here goes another name gaffe by Donald Trump.
By the way, they never report the crowd on January 6th. You know, Nikki Haley, you know, they destroyed all of the information, all of the evidence, everything, deleted and destroyed all of it because of lots of things. Like Nikki Haley is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people, soldiers, National Guard, so whatever they want. They turned it down.
And let me tell you, everything Donald Trump's put up there is a lie.
Yeah, he's getting Nikki Haley confused with
Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi.
But it's not even. Nancy Pelosi is not in charge of security, nor did they offer the National Guard or anything else. But
no,
he said Nikki Haley 17 times in that gaffe. Like, he had no idea that he was talking about the totally wrong person, saying the wrong name.
And when he does it, dude, don't you think it sounds like a computer that's working and starts skipping?
By the way, they never report the crowd on January 6th. You know, Nikki Haley.
Yeah, it's a record scratching on, I mean, jeez. He is so desperate to connect anyone he does not like to nefarious activities that he can't even keep it straight in his own mind.
Glad you brought that up, Steve, because on our last clip, I will tell you that someone thought, it'd be a good idea to ask Donald Trump about, he's been picking up this old Barack Hussein Obama again, and now he's done that with Nikki Haley. He's calling her Nimrod, obviously. So someone asked
not really.
About why do you call people names like that?
Points back to you praising her, and now she says that you're using a nickname based on her given name, Nimrata. You called her Nimbra in a post the other day. Why do you do that?
Well, I do that with a lot of people, like Hutchinson. I mean, he was polling at 0 for about 1 year, and I called him, rather than Asa, I called him Ada Hutchinson, and it just felt good to me. And with her, it's just something that came. It's a little bit of a takeoff on her name, her name, wherever she may come from. But it's just.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean?
It's a little bit of a takeoff. I look at her name. I look at a lot of people. I do a lot of names for people, like Pocahontas. She said, my mother said I look like an Indian, so I started calling her Pocahontas. Some people say I'm very good at that, but I can't get into too many because many of those people that I named like that are Republicans, and we don't want to bring that up. But no, it's just it's a takeoff. I have fun with it. And sometimes, to tell you the truth, it's a very effective tool.
He's talking about it like it's a hobby. People say I'm very good at it, It's just something I like to do.
Well, did you just pick up on he just called her Pocahontas and said that she looked like an Indian.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, he's talking about Elizabeth. Elizabeth Warren is the one he dubbed Pocahontas.
No. That's
keeping his slur straight.
No. That's the problem. Is that now Trumpers themselves actually are calling Nikki Haley Pocahontas because they say she's Indian. They don't. I'm seeing this on Twitter all day today.
Wow. Yeah. Listen, that is what schoolyard bullies do. Try to make up some derogatory nickname based on something they think will hurt you.
Completely.
So it's not clever. It shows what a juvenile bully you are, what a terrible human you are. And, negative branding works. So I get that, some of his flock jump on top of these things, like Brewski's saying, sure. But that's nothing to be proud of, you fucktard.
No, and he does. He just talks about it like, yes, you're not brilliant. I mean, these are elementary names at the very best.
Yeah.
You're an idiot, dude.
Get over here, Nick.
No, dude, it's not my turn.
Need to know news. News you need to know.
It's time for another brewski. This one is a crazy brewski.
Always.
Okay, well, sticking on that, let's talk about Nikki Haley. No, obviously, I like to refer to her by her given name, Nimrata. And the reason why I do that is because I think that she's tried to whitewash herself for a long time. And I get it. She was an Indian kid growing up in South Carolina, and fitting in for any high school student is a big thing. Now, she graduated high school the same year I did, 1989. She benefited from her actual middle name being Nikki, N-I-K-K-I. During that time, when I was in high school, there were a lot of girls named Nicole, and they all went by Nikki and spelled it that way. So it helped her out quite a bit.
Yeah.
Sure.
I can understand what you're saying. Like, high school's a tough time. She was trying to fit in. She was young. She wasn't a politician or anything then. But when you get older, you got to then own that the reason I had to do that stuff was because of the racism and sexism. And
Exactly. And she said, as we know earlier in the week, that America is not and has never been a racist country.
It's insane. Coming from a little Indian girl who changed her name to,
No, she's just using a middle name. She's
it's
just
insane coming from anyone who's paid attention for the last 200 years.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So now we know what the history of this country is. We know about institutional racism within this country. We know it's there. So now contrast that with what she said today to NBC News, where she said that she was teased unmercifully when she was in school because she was brown-skinned and she knows the pain of racism in America.
Maybe she doesn't know what the word racism means.
What is it? Is America not racist, or is it racist?
Did you see the whole thing with her speaking, or did you just see a snippet?
I saw a clip, yes.
She went on, she's playing both sides of the fence, or trying to now, because she went on to say, like, my mother, when I was a little girl, told me that, we do not live in a racist country. Does that mean there's not racist people living here? No. But I'm so glad my mother told me that, because I felt like I could be anything I wanted and do anything I wanted in this country. I grew up to be president, probably. So we have racism in the country. Everyone's on my back because I said this is not a racist country. Yes.
It wasn't.
Oh, wow. Well, so, yeah, she's definitely walking both sides of the fence.
Well, and here's the thing. She knows about the racism in this country.
You know what I like to say is this is profound, okay? I really want you to listen to it.
All right, hit record. Go ahead.
You have to stand for something, or you'll fall for anything. I thought about that. I made that up. You ever hear that? No, obviously, because I made it up last night.
Right. Okay? I think it's a country song right there. But yeah,
Yeah. You got to stand for something, Nikki Haley, but maybe she'll be able to just keep her base happy enough that they'll maybe vote for. I don't even know why she's running, dude, to be honest with you.
Her base obviously doesn't care about consistency, hypocrisy, or anything else. So I think what she's really trying to do is she's preaching to her base, but then she's trying to set herself up for the general election to be like, no, I took down the Confederate flag. And yeah, I said there was racism in this country. Like, no one will hold her accountable on that side. And that's under some delusional fantasy that she'll be the GOP, nominee, which of course she won't be.
Well, I will say that there was a story out of Iowa, and there's one that was come up in New Hampshire recently, saying that if Haley weren't the nominee, a large portion of Haley supporters would be more prone to vote for Joe Biden because they are anti-Trump.
I heard that too. Yeah.
I heard a lot of voters being interviewed in New Hampshire that, and this is, again, where Republicans, if you could zoom out and see that you're shooting yourselves in the foot with Trump, you could actually win the White House in the fall, because a lot of these New Hampshire voters were saying that they're so sick of Biden and Trump because they're just old and, old school. We need fresh blood. So there were Democrats saying that if it was Haley versus Biden, they would vote for Haley just because they want someone new in there. My point is Republicans could win the White House this coming fall if they picked almost anybody but Trump. And if they picked somebody more neutral, a Nikki Haley, a Chris Christie, they could absolutely defeat Biden, but they're too dumb to see the forest through the trees.
Let's hope. Let's hope that that's right, dude. My cousin texted me. We talk politics. She doesn't live in this state. She said, do you honestly think that there's a shot that Trump will be president again? I was like, who am I to say, dude? I didn't think he would make it the first time, and he did. So
there's a shot. Yeah.
Crazier things have happened. I hope to hell not, but yeah, maybe so.
Yeah. My mom is just wigging out over all this stuff. she's listening to liberal podcast all day long, and she's just getting so wound up about Trump. And when will we arrest this man already? Just get this over with.
Yeah, I get it, dude.
Gotta be patient. But yeah, I mean, this is a self-inflicted wound. I can see the train wreck unfolding in front of us. That come this fall, if somehow he's even on the ballot, if he's not in jail, if he hasn't died already, if he's not senile, like, he's not winning, and they're just this could implode on the Republicans in just a comically epic fashion, where history will look back and go, "You morons didn't see this coming. Like, how did you nominate him again?" That defying normal logic, by the way. When you lose the presidency, then you're done. That's why we're not talking. It'd be like us nominating Hillary Clinton again. Like, no, you lost. We're done with you.
Yeah, right. We didn't get a doggy bag. All right. We didn't ask for a doggy bag. We're not eating leftovers here. All right.
Yes. It's like the milk going bad and putting it in the fridge and hoping that maybe it'll turn good again in 6 months or 6 years. Like, no, it's done. It's sour. Be done.
It's terrible, dude. It scares me all the time. Speaking of which, Steve, how is your penis?
I'm circumcised. I got my son circumcised. I'm not religious.
Thank you very much.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you
We interrupt our program to bring you a special...
Here is a news bulletin. We interrupt this program to bring you...
the humanity and all the
a date which will live in infamy. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Need to know news.
I said, oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire.
News you need to know.
I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Right. I will just say that long before artificial intelligence was a thing, this show was editing people out of context.
Yes, that's true, dude.
We started it.
Yeah, right? We did, for sure.
This is your fault, mainly.
Proud history. and we want everyone to know about that.
So,
that's right.
All right. Is it me? Is that where we're at? All right. I just thought we'd make fun of Elon Musk real quick, because why not? He's done so many stupid things. The latest. Apparently, Elon Musk did not realize that certain parts of our country get cold in the winter.
Brr.
Right. Tesla owners run into battery charging trouble in Chicago's bitter cold. So, Chicago and parts of the Midwest dipped into the negative numbers. And lo and behold, batteries don't do very well in cold weather. And there were entire Tesla charging parking lots just full of dead robot machines. They could not be charged because it was cold outside.
It's so funny, dude, to think about this. You said, sub-zero, right? I mean, but here I am in Seattle, where we were, riding about 10 degrees overnight, positive 10 degrees. Yeah. And batteries weren't charging here. My Ring doorbell was like, if you run off battery, you're going to lose your device, because batteries just don't work in cold temperatures. Sub-zero? They ain't going nowhere. They were plugging them in, and what happened? Nothing. They wouldn't take a charge.
They either wouldn't take a charge, or the batteries would deplete so quickly that it was completely useless to even be driving around like that. And so the genius Elon Musk never saw that coming, the cold weather. And I hear a lot of people bashing on electric vehicles for stupid reasons, but this is not a stupid reason. Parts of the country do get cold. I grew up in Michigan.
Figure that out.
Yeah, negative temps do happen. I understand it's not year round, but if this is the future of vehicles, this seems like a problem we probably need to get figured out.
Yeah. Jump on it, Elon. Get off Twitter or X for a minute and stop spreading Nazi propaganda and, work on these batteries, dude. Come on.
Yeah, the guy cannot take his foot out of his mouth. I find it a little comical, that he's just destroying Twitter X thing is comical to me. But, I want electric vehicles to do well. So this is something that should have been, seen coming and averted. I have seen 2 Cybertrucks in my town recently. Both times when I'm driving down the road, I flick them off because I'm just so disgusted that you've gone out and bought the most expensive, dumbest truck on the planet that's getting stuck in 2 inches of snow. They can't haul anything. And that, if it's cold out, your battery can't even be charged.
So ugly, dude. I hate that truck, and I'm with you. People were laughing at Elon Musk for this and saying, well, we don't even respect you anymore. He made comment.
And keep laughing. Keep laughing. Real funny, huh? If any one of you that doesn't respect me, you'd have a big dump in your pants.
Oh.
The dump truck, that Cybertruck. So, yeah.
Oh, boy. Well,
I was on X the other day, and Musk, again, he's in charge of a media platform, and you have to be careful not to offend advertisers, as he's been figuring out. And as I figured out years ago in the world of radio, if you're going to run a radio station, you can't risk offending people because you can lose advertisers. That means you lose revenue. That means you have to lay off employees. I mean, it's a whole ripple effect. So you got to be smart enough as the boss to not put your foot in your mouth like that. And he hasn't figured it out. But I was on there the other day. He shared a straight up pornographic image that I stared at for 30, 40 seconds because it was kind of hot. But I was just thinking, like, he thought this was a good idea to share. It was a picture. I don't even know what the joke was, but it was a guy laying in bed naked with a laptop in front of his junk. And on the other side of the laptop was a woman in reverse cowgirl position. And you could see the side of her breast, and she was riding the guy. But there was some image on the screen that I guess was meant to be the joke, that the guy was paying attention to his laptop and not the woman riding his junk. But I just thought, like, you're the head of a company, a multi-zillionaire, and you think sharing a porno image is funny, ha ha ha, locker room humor, like,
shows, dude, that he's just lost all sense of reality of, what's right and what's wrong, what's up, what's down.
Yeah, because when you're that rich, you just think that there are no consequences. You can say and do whatever you please.
So are you done with them then?
Well, I mean, I guess we're still on Twitter, but I don't know. I've still not updated my app, by the way. On my phone, it still says Twitter. So I'm going to for as long as I can.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve.
You like your support, dude.
Need to know news. News you need to know.
It's Johnny Gilbert. Thank you, Johnny. Hey, let's end the news segment with this. Maybe someone else should step up and run for president here to lead this nation. The leader of the free world. Maybe we should have someone else. How about someone who owns the Dallas Mavericks?
You kind of would like to be the president of the United States.
No, that's not what I said.
If you could.
That's not what I said. I said I'm considering it. I think that given the circumstances, there's a unique opportunity for somebody like me who's independent, who's not affiliated with a party in any way. I haven't given money to a politician since 2002. And I think that people are looking for an independent voice, a real independent voice that at least has an inkling of what they're talking about.
If you ran, you would run as a Democrat?
No, absolutely not.
As an independent?
Potentially. And I'd say...
Or as a Republican?
Republican before Democrat, most likely independent, because I think there's an incremental value for setting up an independent candidacy. Now, I understand the difficulties of that and the challenges of that from an infrastructure perspective. But the positives for doing it as a Republican means you get to go head on with Trump right in the primaries. And so there's nothing I'd have more fun doing. The benefit of being an independent is you go right to the golden ticket time, right? And if I get enough support in the polls, then I get to participate with the debates, which is right up there with something.
I think you really are considering and thinking about it.
Well, no, I'm considering, obviously considering.
I'd like to see that happen.
Listen, I would like to see someone like him or any independent, person that really wants to be an independent. But you've got to get on one of the two parties. You cannot run as an independent. And if you're going to, you better have started that shit 2 years ago.
Yeah,
because you're just going to spoil the election, like Ross Perot, like Ralph Nader, like you can be an independent and be a Republican or a Democrat, and you can help lead the party in that direction. But we do have a two-party system. You do have to co-opt one of the parties, like Trump did, by the way.
Yeah.
If you think you're going to win a national election. So I would be all for someone, I think Cuban's a smart guy and all that, but whether it's him or another just unifying force, which is why I've said before that Trump could have been the greatest president ever, because he could have stepped up and said, hey, listen, I'm not actually a Republican or a Democrat. I'm here to unify. I ran on this ticket and now I'm in the White House, but enough, everyone. We got to divide. We got to unite this country instead of divide it. He could have done that, but of course his ego never would let him. So could a Cuban do it? Yeah, but you got to run on one of the tickets.
And then maybe we see the mistake in that because Vivek Ramaswamy was kind of that person, right? Was trying to.
Who? Because that 15 minutes of fame is over. We'll never hear from that guy.
Right. You wonder if we will. Do you think he's done and out?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But did you see, by the way, that Vivek said that he was shocked and surprised that he kept getting told at every event where he went to that Republican voters wouldn't vote for him because of his weird name and the fact that he was dark skinned.
He was surprised.
He said, I was shocked. He's like, I didn't think Republican voters would do that sort of thing. But he was told so many times. This is how delusional he was.
Wow.
As Trump's out making fun of Nikki Haley for her ethnicity, he thought, no, that would never happen to me.
You didn't think, after you've seen Trump for years say Barack Hussein Obama, like it didn't set it in with you? That's crazy.
He said your relatives are poisoning the blood of our country.
Yes, dude. Jeez. Yeah. Well, Mark Cuban, that's the guy that, if this is what our country has become, a reality show, completely, who do we pick? Mark Cuban. Who else could play this game?
Yeah, listen, I'll vote for The Rock or somebody if he's going to actually.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Come on.
But the thing about Mark Cuban, though, at least if you look at the things that he's tweeted, and he's actually gotten into some really heated discussions with people about DEI initiatives. And the thing about it is that he doesn't name call or anything like that.
Right.
He has very sound arguments.
He's intelligent.
Yeah, exactly.
He's created this whole. Have you read anything about that pharmacy that he started?
Yeah. He's trying to do low-cost prescription drugs,
and he's doing it
right now.
It's. More drugs added to the system all the time that you can, life-saving medication that you can get at major discounts. So. Yeah, I could see a guy like Mark Cuban doing things. Yeah, but did you hear him turn his nose up? It was pretty bad. Would you run as a Democrat? No.
Yeah.
No.
That stings a little, Cuban, but that's all right. When did the Mavericks win a title last? Tell me, anyone?
Within the past 6 years.
It's ancient history. That's what I'm saying. No, listen, if somebody like Cuban wants to be an actual patriot, they will run this fall as a Republican solely to spoil Trump's chance of winning. That's what we need someone to step up and do. And Mitt Romney flirted with that idea, but I think he just did it to have a good sound, drop in the news. But if someone did that would be a freaking patriot, and that would be doing us all a favor.
Yeah. That's a good analysis.
That's a fact.
It is the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve, all Brewski. It's a podcast. We do a couple of them each and every week, and we thank you for tuning in to this one.
You're welcome.
I am? Thank you. Okay.
Yes. Find us on the website, thevocalminority.net. Find the social medias. And we're swearing now, so we're naughty. It's something your parents wouldn't approve of. This is taboo.
Yeah, Brewski. Go fuck yourself and say goodbye.
Oh, fuck off already.
And we say bye-bye.
Test 1 2, test 1 2.
Stop.